Register today for the Be the Light virtual retreat, February 19th through 21st, 2021. This is a powerful spiritual activation weekend, complete with Reiki attunement, spiritual warfare training, how to access more of your gifts and abilities, and much, much more. Go to www.heartofinspiration.net today to register. That's www.heartofinspiration.net. See you there.
Hey Leo, this is Lisa with Heart of Inspiration. And here at this channel, we help you lead a whole and healed, peaceful, and prosperous life. Leo, I am finally here for your Mercury Retrograde reading. This is going to be from Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Leo, did I say Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Oh my gosh, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. But primarily Leo, Sun, and Leo, Moon. Okay, if you've watched any of the other signs, any of your other signs in this series, you'll know that I am saying that this whole party that's going on in Aquarius is more so affecting our suns and our moons, or our I am presence, our true self, right? Our id, who we are at our very core, and then our emotions, the energy that we're putting into motion, how we feel, see, and interact with things of the esoteric or spiritual nature, energetic nature in the world. It can affect your rising, how you're showing up in the world. However, I just feel personally, this is not a thus saith anybody else but Lisa, I feel personally that it's really affecting more so sun and moon signs. Now, to that end, this whole huge party is happening in Aquarius, right? Mercury retrograde, along with kind of this superstellium of the sun, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus is all happening. All of this is happening in Aquarius, and that is your opposing sign. So when I look at oppositions, it's me being a moon child, right? It's an illumination. Like, it is laying everything bare, basically, to me. And it's a very big challenge. It's more so even so than a square, because it's challenging you to really look deep behind the curtain, and everything that you have thus far felt is real, or thus far felt is like really a major part of who you are, what you've thought, how you've conducted yourself is being laid bare. And whether or not that has worked for you or not worked for you is being laid bare. And where you're going to go now with that information. 2020 was a year of us getting very clear vision. It should have been us getting very clear vision on our purpose and our path, or at least clear vision that the direction we were going in was not one that is going to be fruitful, and was not one that is going to work for us in the long term. And this time in Aquarius now is saying, who are you as an individual, and how are you fitting into the collective? What is your position? Begin to remember that, or put the members back, bring all these aspects of yourself back, bring them back into your own kind of collective consciousness, as an individual collectively, and then also bring it into the collective consciousness of the greater good and for humanity's sake, right? How do you fit in? So as Mercury, retrograded past the sun earlier in the month, and it was like, okay, well, this is like, how am I really supposed to be showing up? Moving forward, is what I've already thought by the end of 2020 and the plans for 2021. Are those plans, are they good? Are they solid? Are they authentic? And then as it skippity doo-dah passed, and it's it's passing at this point, Venus in Aquarius, what is it that you truly love? What do you truly value? What should be your true values? And how they relate to how you are accessing and acquiring means, and accessing and acquiring things in this third dimensional realm. And in doing that in Aquarius, can you change your thought pattern? Can you change how your thoughts operate and how you put your thoughts into operation for manifestation? Are you loyal to people that you shouldn't be loyal to? Are you trying to please people that maybe you shouldn't be trying to please? right? Are they authentically for you, or is there some ulterior motive there that perhaps you need to be reviewing and looking at? And you yourself, why are you interacting with certain people in certain relationships? And this can be not just romantic, but definitely on a friend, career, peer, if you're kind of collaborative in some areas. Are these people really feeding you? And are they really giving you what you need towards your highest good? Right? And then it skippity doodahs back past Jupiter to kind of say, hey, you know what? These are the gifts that thus far, the abilities you've accessed. And Jupiter being the big gift giver is like, I've got more for you. I think a lot of you Leos, a lot of us in general, but a lot of Leos are going to start to understand that there's so much more out here than you have ever given yourself credit for, and so much more out here than you ever have realized. And that, again, it's the loyalty thing. Like, are you being loyal to a fault? And is that then interfering in your what is really for your greatest good? And Jupiter's trying to give you the gifts and trying to help you to expand your horizons and expand your point of view on what your place is in the collective and how you are really vitally important to the furtherance of the collective consciousness and the healing of humanity. And then it skippity doodahs back to Saturn, which Saturn, no longer in Capricorn, is now able to be much more forward thinking, much more avant-garde, much more cutting edge, much more I'm going to restructure. And I'm going to restructure, though, from my highest good rather than only dealing with the third dimensional realm. It's a little less restrictive. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing, Leo. As I've said before, now 10 other times, but I'll say it here again. We've got to start looking at these transits from higher dimensional living rather than third dimensional being. We've got to look at it from higher fifth dimensional life rather than third dimensional strife. Because we are moving into higher knowledge. The curtain is being pulled back. The veil is being ripped. And we can peek now and see how creation really works, and that we ourselves are as individuals are creators. We've been saying this for many, many years, but now is the time to really act upon it. Okay? Now is the time to act upon it. And then it's back, and then it goes stationary direct on the 20th, and then we come back forward. So this is not just a typical Mercury retrograde. Hopefully, as we're talking about all of these things now, this is going to kind of tie this up into a nice, neat little bow. So these last few days of Mercury retrograde, and then coming into Mercury direct, when it's going to go back past all of these signs, all of these planets, I should say, as you're looking at yourself and saying, wow, I never saw this about myself. You're going to act upon this and make a change. This isn't just for contemplation and introspection. This is a retrograde for action. And I think we need to start looking at these, from a different perspective rather than just the traditional ways that we've been looking at them. Now, let's grab some Oracle. Over here, I have the Beyond Lemuria deck. Okay. The Beyond Lemuria deck here on this side. And then on this side, I have the Keepers of the Light. Okay, so we're going to pull 2 from the Beyond Lemuria and then 2 from the Keepers of the Light. Here we go. What do we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. 2 cards, please, for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First card is evolution. This is what we've been talking about, right? Your whole consciousness should be evolving during this time. And by the time you come out of this consciousness, oh boy, hello. out of this time of like looking at things again and getting these messages that Mercury's been grabbing from around the sun all this time. And now it's going, let me just review the plans you made and then let's put them all into action. Like that's what we're doing, right? We're evolving our consciousness. And then the violet flame. Now, the violet flame in the Lemuria deck represents this understanding of higher consciousness, right? The violet flame. Violet is the color of your crown chakra or your third eye chakra. Those colors are very close together. So this is your sight and your hearing from your higher being activated and illuminated. And that is definitely an evolutionary jump, right? An evolutionary jump from, again, being so focused on third dimensional living that you are not being of a higher mind. And so this is saying, listen, you gotta open up and evolve your consciousness and raise it up. Are you meditating? Are you listening when you're meditating? Are you writing during and after meditation, like doing the automatic writing so you get these messages and really integrate them into your soul, into your very being? Are you cleansing and aligning your chakras on a regular basis? All of these things, Leo, are very, very important. Paul the Venetia, he's been coming out a lot. Experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. This is a time for you to really allow the divine masculinity that is within you, Leo, to come forward. And, you might be giving tough messages like in love, but understanding, give yourself some grace as well. Cut yourself a little bit of slack. And here we have Gaia, Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet, come back to Earth and stay grounded. Throughout all this evolutionary time period, the experiencing and living in grace and showing grace to others and showing grace, first of all, to yourself is absolutely critical. We have to show grace and have compassion for ourselves in our own humanity before we can show it to others. And in having that understanding and compassion for humanity, that's when we're truly able to walk in love in a major way. Okay, in a major way, because then we, as a higher being, as a spiritual being, having a human experience, to experience emotions, to experience happiness and sadness and karma and all of these things, to experiencing them from a human perspective, though, and to experience the joy of creation. So all of this higher evolution is connected to experiencing the joy of creation and bringing it all from the fifth dimension down into the third dimension. So as important as it is for you to remain and stay connected up here, it is equally, if not more important, for you to stay grounded so that this connection from fifth to third stays solid and open, because it is absolutely critical that connection stays solid and open. Absolutely critical. You cannot create and bring things from higher realms, from your true self, from that is important for your true mission. You can't bring it down if you're not connected down here. It won't work. Period. So as you are getting a greater insight, foresight, premonition, understanding, and gaining more abilities and capabilities in the higher realms and living in that area, living there while still living here. The art of creation, as it is above, so it is below. If you're disconnected to above, you're going to be disconnected to below. If you're living in poverty and lack in spirituality above, you're going to live that same way below. Oh, Leo, that'll preach. You know what? I'm going to give that. I'm putting that out there very soon. We're going to talk about that. That is a deep understanding to have. If that's where you're living above, because you're disconnected up here, because you do not know how to visualize and transform energy in a metaphysical fashion above, you're never going to transmit that and bring it and manifest it below. Stay connected to the earth. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself latitude and an ability to make mistakes, because the mistakes is part of the human experience. Have compassion for yourself, and in that you will be able to have compassion for others. And if you're not, I'm going to tell you another thing. If you're saying to yourself, well, I do so much for other people, of course I have compassion for other people, but you're doing it to the detriment of yourself, you are not having compassion for yourself, and therefore it is not true compassion for others. You are trying to fix other people rather than having compassion for and empowering yourself so that then you can empower other people. We can't confuse control, right, and pity and people pleasing for compassion. Because now this is the tough love here that I got to give you. The reality of it is sometimes when we're doing something so much for somebody else, we're really trying to control them. Because honestly, we don't trust them to do it for themselves, and honestly, we don't want to look at our own ish. Now, that's not to say I've been very compassionate to other people and helped people, and it's never been about control. It's always been about assistance. But other people may have taken it that way. And when other people take it that way, if other people are saying, oh, you're just trying to control me, and you're like, well, all I'm trying to do is help you, you need to look at yourself first, right? And then that other person may be the type of person that, really does want to control, and that's why they're helping. So you gotta look at yourself and make sure that that it is integral. But as long as, I'm going to go back to the cards really quick, you are evolving into a higher level of understanding and consciousness where you will see things in a less of a duality and more of duality frame and more of the eternal frame, outside of time and space, and then inside, though, creation. All right. Thank you so much for being with me. I really do appreciate it a lot. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you feel like it, sharing. And leave some comments down below. That really helps. Listen, the other thing I want to just make sure that you understand before you leave me, I'm sure you've seen down on this side, there's been, different things that have come and said, 100 light workers in 100 days. Well, what that's all about is that's the mandate, the goal that I've been given. Lightworker Academy is open. We are right now the very first certification course we're offering, or really long, 8 to 12 week course we're offering, is a spiritual counselor and energy healer course. It is fantastic to get certified in that, and that type of work is going to help you no matter if you're going into the healing space or, in your light work, or you're doing other things in light work, because everyone you encounter, honestly, along this way is going to need some assistance in that area. And if you have some tools and abilities to assist them, even without them really knowing it, if you're not going into that space on your own in reality, then, as a business, if you will, or as a passion, you're still going to be able to assist. And I think it's just a fantastic foundation. So, down below, there is a link for you to book a 15-minute call with me to, really to be able to see, in the first step of enrollment, whether or not this makes sense. And so book that 15-minute call. It's completely free. And let's see if, you are ready for, enrollment. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you so much. Namaste. Bye-bye.